The elusive father wound. Let me speak a little bit to this. So let me give you some background first. This is it's been an interesting few days. You know, I had a question from a client today actually. So this amazing container that my beautiful wife Christine Hassler and I have, it is a container for women. It's called Be the Queen, and it's for single women calling in their kings, but more importantly, it is about women connecting to their own sense of self, their self-worth, their self-esteem, how they project and express and are in the world, and how they love, how they give and receive love, and ultimately really connecting to all of who they are and who they want to be. And that's really the foundations of this journey, this container, this program. And this container is coming to an end at the moment, and we're recommencing again at the end of April for any of you ladies that may be interested. But I had a really beautiful question today, and it really was about healing. And it was around, do we ever stop healing? Or do we have to keep revisiting the painful experiences that we have in the world, that we experience? Do we have to keep experiencing healing? If we have dealt with an issue, what does it take to just deal with the issue? And that's an interesting question, right? Like we think about, well, what do I need to do to actually deal with my pain? So for example, if I was physically abused as a child, how long does it take to deal with that until it no longer affects me? And what do I need to do to deal with that? Do I need to forgive? Do I need to feel? Well, the answer is all of the above. But it's more than just that. You have to work through the layers of that. We have to work through the meaning that we've attached to that and the stories that we've told ourselves over the years because of those events, those traumatic events that we've experienced. So then we start asking the question, well, how much work do we actually need to do? I mean, this can be really intense. When does it stop? Does it stop when we start getting scared? You know, I think that our lives are one of growth and expansion, especially if we choose to grow, right? And so do we ever stop growing? I think the answer is no, and I think healing is part of that. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to get stuck and we're never going to heal our pain. I think what it means is the question that we could be asking, instead of are we going to ever stop, is this pain ever going to stop, and can we be done with our healing, is maybe first a statement around gratitude. And that gratitude could be something like, I really am deeply grateful and appreciative of all the healing that I have done, and all the insight and awareness that I have, and the tools that I've developed over the years exploring this pain that has informed how I'm choosing to behave as an adult, and how I think, how I feel and give and receive love, how I interact in the world, how I present, how I express, and all of that. And because of that healing that I have done, it's unlocked another layer. And I also feel that when we meet new people from a new place within ourselves, when we are more informed because of the revelations and the maturity that we've developed through choosing to be open and conscious to experiences, and choosing to grow and be willing to meet ourselves where we're at and do the inner work and heal and break patterns that don't serve us anymore, it unlocks a part of us, and we then attract a new resonance of people in our world. And those people, those relationships, those interactions, those matchings and mirrorings, they actually, I think they unlock the next layer of healing. And so we deepen our connection to ourselves and to others through healing. And it's not just through our trauma and our pain, it's also through our positive experiences. And if you're watching this, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank you for listening and feeling intently this particular message around healing, because I know it's something that we all go through. And this is what I really want to speak to today. You know, I remember in my life when I've gone through tremendous challenges, painful challenges, times in my life where I haven't been able to function. I thought it was the end. I was contemplating suicide. I was deeply contemplating that feeling of my worthlessness, and that I'm unworthy and I'm not connected and I don't deserve to be here and I'm not good enough, and all of that. And what is the meaning of life, and what is the meaning of my existence, and why am I going through these struggles and these pains, and that I'm the common denominator, therefore I went to shame and blame and fault. But it required me hitting these points, these very low points in my life, and realizing that I would work through stuff, whether it be a few months or a year or 2 years, and then I'd have this freedom, this sense of lightness, and then something would happen traumatic or something deep would happen in my world, and I would have to deal with very similar things again. Different. And I started to realize that this would happen over and over again. I started to realize that I'm unraveling parts of myself in order to be the version of myself that I really want to and need to be. And what I started realizing was that in doing so, it was because of the previous healing, the previous exploration, the willingness to deal with that pain, face it, express it, explore it, release it, free it, feel it, that I was able to move on to the next stage of my own evolution, which was bringing me high quality experiences, but at the same time, and sometimes painful experiences. So I've been at this mastermind all week, and we just finished yesterday, and it was an amazing mastermind. And I also had the opportunity to teach breathwork. There were about 60 members there, 60 people, and really took people deep into a journey of breathwork, because even though it was an entrepreneurial, business-focused mastermind, business is an extension and an expression of who we are in the world. And so without really the personal, the professional doesn't exist. And the more intact and in integrity the personal is, the professional really flourishes and grows. And so I took these people through breath work, and I really started to see and the majority of people there were men. It's about 50 men, 10 women, somewhere there. And really started to witness the pain that so many men have gone through. And I was a participant, and I was also a teacher in this particular portion, one of the afternoons. But as a participant, I would witness these men suffering, and it reminded me a lot about what I experienced as a child and the pain that I went through with my father. And I started witnessing all these men that have been really physically abused and emotionally abused and neglected and abandoned and isolated as children by their fathers, and that they have this animosity, this anger, this pain, this shame around who they are, and this projection on their fathers, and this inability to forgive and let go and release. And I've done so much of that. And I was walking and I was speaking to my beloved, and tears started coming from my eyes and rolling down my face, and thinking, I not only forgive my father, I love him, and I respect him for who he's been and what he's gone through in his own trials and tribulations. And I also realized that as a child, I'll never get that time back. I can reframe it, I can rename it, I can create a different meaning, story, and relationship to it, but I'll never get that time back as a kid. I'll never have that time, that healthy time with a father wanting to reach out and know that I was safe, and know that I was cared for, and know that I was loved in a healthy way, in a way that was available. And I'll never have that. And I realized in that moment, I've done a lot of healing around this, and I feel really healthy in that space. And I'm still mourning. I'm still mourning that loss of connection, having parents to go to when I was feeling unsafe as a kid, instead of having to self-regulate in an extreme way myself. And I've moved past the blame and the shame and the density and the anger, and there's sadness there when I feel into it, and there's mourning there. I'm still grieving that. And I was thinking, have I done my work? Yeah, I have. I really have done my work around this. Do I have more work to do? Maybe. Maybe there's more layers to unpack and unravel, and I'm okay with that. And that's been part of my evolution and my journey, and I'm just mourning. I'm sad. I'm sad that I never had my dad. I'm sad that I never had my father to see me for who I was and who I wanted to be, and I never had him to reach out to and trust him and feel safe. And maybe a lot of this is coming up as I'm becoming a father, or about to become a father in the near future, in the next couple of years. But that's really real now for me. I used to wonder, would I be a good father? Would I be a healthy father? Would I be a connected father and a loving father? And I had doubts in my life before, and I don't have those doubts now. And I also feel really grateful that I'll be able to give my child the attention and love and feeling of safety and presence that I never had. And again, I come back to the mourning of that. Maybe it's okay to mourn. Maybe it's okay to mourn. If we give ourselves permission to mourn, then maybe we're giving ourselves permission to grow. And when we give ourselves permission to grow, we are ultimately embracing what life is about, which is growth and expansion. So my invitation to you is to grow and to mourn what you need to mourn, to release and let go what no longer serves you, and to appreciate the life that you've had and the life that you do have, and to recognize the love that you do have, because in my life now I am held and I am seen, and I do feel safe and I feel connected and I feel strong in my being in every way, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And I have people that are safe in my life, people that trust me and I trust them and I can go to them. And we have 4 fundamental needs in our world: to be seen, to be heard, to be understood, and to be respected. And when we come from that place and we allow ourselves to really feel the fullness of those feelings, we grow. And not only do we grow, we give others permission to do the same, and we inspire them. And yeah, I guess I'm just mourning. I'm mourning not being able to get that childhood back. We can't turn back time, but we can rearrange the meaning and the stories that we attach to the lives that we've had. And now I just get an opportunity to do that. And there's sadness there. I missed being a kid. I grew up really quick, being in a violent family, and this isn't a pity story or a victim party. This is an opportunity for all of us to learn and grow together and realize that we need to be defined by our stories, and we still can feel the pain of the past and feel whole within who we are. And that's the big takeaway for me, and the witnessing of my own growth is that I can still feel these feelings and still know that I've come from a place of expansion and I'm continuing to grow. So mourn what you've lost and allow yourself to feel. Give yourself permission. Surround yourself with people that see you, care for you, that you trust, that honor you, and that you can relate to, that you feel safe with. Create that for those in your life as well, because that is a gift. Please trust me, that is a gift. I'm someone that really didn't experience a lot of that as a young child. That is a gift. Our voids dictate our values. Dr. John Demartini says this. And I experienced isolation. I didn't experience connection and trust and safety and intimacy in my world. And as an adult, my expression and service in the world is to provide that safety for others, that presence for others, that ability to be seen. And so I spent so much of my life and I'm a perpetual student, continue to study psychology, behavioral science, social psychology, philosophy, neuroscience, spirituality, and how we, Eastern mythology and mysticism, and how we connect and the human structure and the human condition, masculine, feminine dynamics, and all the juicy modalities that help us break free of what doesn't serve us. And I dedicate my life to this. And so if you're interested in up-leveling your life, DM me, and I can send you some information on how I coach people, how I mentor people and guide people, and help them break free of their past so they can step into exactly what they want without being held back, without feeling inadequate, without feeling rejected, and have the courage and the support to move through their fears and choose the life they really, really want to live. Thank you so much, my dear. I appreciate that. And so that is all for me this evening. Sending you very many blessings, or morning or afternoon, or wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. Surround yourself with people that you trust and that you care for, and give that feeling of safety and being seen and seeing others, because it is truly liberating. Many blessings on your journey. I'll speak to you soon.